Look around the forums long enough and you will encounter comments about the state of worship ministry and the state of music in the church. That it is bland, that it is stale, there's nothing to shout about, and it's boring. Well, I can relate to those kind of sentiments because I have come from a professional gigging background where I've had to play jazz standards, I've had to play a bit more advanced stuff, as it were. At one point in time, I was in a Dream Theater cover band, so that was like peak musician for me. Today, I'd like to offer some perspective as to why music in the church has to be simpler, and it comes down to two considerations: volunteers and their congregation. Let's consider some practical things about the volunteers. Not everyone is at the professional gigging level who can assimilate songs in an instant, who can figure things out in their heads. They need time to practice. So your volunteers, some of them are the kind who won't be able to touch the instruments until the rehearsal, which in itself is quite a bad habit or a bad practice. I certainly think that needs to change, but that's a topic for another time. That's the reality of the situation. Some of your volunteers don't have the time to practice until the rehearsal itself. 1 week is not enough time for them to practice. So even though you give them the songs 1 week in advance, some volunteers still find it a bit too short a time frame to learn songs properly. The second consideration has to deal with the congregation and your congregational context. Does your congregation even appreciate the more complex kind of music? Are they the kind who have lamented the loss of their hymns? If you play a simple 1-4-5 in your hymns, are they the kind who appreciate that rather than your King's Kaleidoscope kind of arrangements? Fantastic music from King's Kaleidoscope, by the way.
Wind that art so strong.
I have tried jazzing up my hymns and to play Come Thou Fount or Be Thou My Vision in jazz styles, and that has fallen flat so many times. I've learned it the hard way. My congregation does not appreciate harder arrangements. They love their simple 1-4-5. We need to meet our volunteers and our congregation where they are. As the worship pastor, worship leader, music director, you may be the musically enlightened one who can appreciate and worship through complex chord changes and odd time meter, but not your volunteers or your congregation. Our task as the musician, therefore, is to learn and play at 100% of our talent and our abilities, so that when the time comes to play at 50%, when we don't have to put in so much thought or effort into learning a song or to play at a whim's notice, we don't need to stress over it. There have been many times where on a whim's notice, I've been called to play at prayer meetings, at worship services even, and I don't have the time to, learn and simulate the parts all at once, but because I've got a good ear through years and years of training, I can apply that ear to listen to a song and very quickly just pick out the key parts that I need to memorize. My favorite personal story, though, is when I was a full-time staff in my church and we had to do shut-in visits. There was an elderly lady who had no opportunity to go down to church because of her ailments, and she had no chance to sing her favorite worship songs in a corporate setting. So my team and I, we went down with one guitar, just a couple of us. We sang Jesus Loves Me, This I Know, her favorite song. It's very simple, C, F, and G, no difficult chords, no complicated chords whatsoever, but the presence of God being in that room with that elderly lady and my team, just worshiping with her with 3 simple chords, that was a priceless moment. Maybe God let me learn 100 hard chords so that I can play C, F, and G well when called upon. Remember, it's not about you, it's about them. Let's serve our team and let's serve our congregation.